We really want to know what you think of all you've seen so far, so do get in touch via Twitter using the hashtag #CreateNow. While I was at the Hasselblad Shoot London event, I grabbed a few moments between presentations with my colleague Rich Curtis, recently back from Adobe MAX. Rich, thank you so much for joining us. You have just come back from Adobe MAX, so you've seen all of the latest features from the October release. Can you tell us about what the standout features were for you from a digital imaging perspective?
Absolutely. I think the mobile apps were just released for the iPad and the iPhone are just absolutely killer. You know, that you can take organic shapes and organic brushes and bring them through into your iPad and your iPhone for using your comps later. Are just amazing. I mean, I've been using Shape a lot just for capturing really cool kind of icons and graphics out in the real world using my comps.
Create vector objects from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way that syncs across into your desktop application to Photoshop and Illustrator using the Creative Cloud libraries are just amazing. You know, I can go capture something and then instantaneously I have it to use on my desktop apps. I mean, that workflow is just absolutely seamless and transparent. It's amazing.
It's fantastic. And Adobe Color as well, the rebranded Cooler app, that's also heavily integrated within all of the desktop apps.
Yeah, absolutely. And Creative Cloud libraries really kind of enables you to take those organic shapes, organic colours and bring them through into your creative process. It's amazing, yeah.
Fantastic, yes. And so we've had this whole plethora of mobile apps as part of the October release, but not too long ago we had Photoshop Mix and Lightroom Mobile come out, right? Can you tell us a little bit about how that works within your digital imaging workflow?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a travel photographer as well as my Adobe career, you know, I go out a lot and do a lot of photo shoots abroad, and a lot of the time you're traveling on buses and cars and aeroplanes, and you want to just do your edits when you're on the go.
It can be a little bit of dead time, that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just normally sit in a hotel, synchronize all my raw files to my iPad very, very quickly, edit on the go, and then when I get home, my edit's done. I've just got to tune it up using Photoshop and Lightroom, and you know, it's just a seamless workflow.
So how does Lightroom Mobile work with the desktop application?
So that's a great question. You know, Lightroom on the desktop is the source for all of your raw imagery, and that's always going to be the case. But really, Lightroom Mobile as a companion application synchronizes those raw files using the Creative Cloud. Yep. So you put your raw images on your desktop, synchronize them to the Creative Cloud just by turning on a collection to synchronize, and it's pretty much done for you. Yep. It's really simple. There's a web view and there's also a Lightroom Mobile, and any adjustments that are made on the desktop or on the mobile device are synchronized automatically behind the scenes.
And it's all non-destructive in the way that we love it to be.
And it's all non-destructive and super, super quick.
And actually your Lightroom Mobile files are also then available to you within Photoshop Mix, aren't they?
Correct, yeah. So if you want to do some image compositing and, you know, having some ideation during the cycle on your mobile devices, then you can access your Lightroom Mobile, your camera roll, your camera,
your Creative Cloud files as well.
Creative Cloud files, but also Dropbox and things like that. So anywhere that contains imagery, you can bring it in and do some composites. Now, the great thing about using Photoshop Mix is that it creates your layer PSD file. So it starts the ideation process, but it's all non-destructive, all from the word go. And also, you know, the great thing about Photoshop Mix is it's utilizing the Creative Cloud server technology to have Photoshop on the server to be able to use.
Really powerful processing now.
Really powerful. So things like camera shape reduction, upright, and content-aware fill on these mobile devices that really enable you to take your imagery to another level, all on the mobile device. It's amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. And then, of course, when you're ready to edit, you can send it to Photoshop.
Yeah, because it works all over the world. So you just kind of like say go, and it's just there, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. So yeah, super amazing. Super amazing.
Great. So some really, really good ways to work on the move there, all in addition to your Creative Cloud desktop applications and fully integrated. Rich, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to catch up with you again soon.
Great. Thanks so much, Iona.
time to see what the future holds for touch devices as we head back to Adobe MAX.
Hey, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you both. I've got a couple demos to show you. The first one on the Surface Pro 3 here.
I'm sure this crowd likes Photoshop. Are we going to show them something to do with Photoshop now?
We're going to start with Photoshop. So I've got Photoshop running on the Surface Pro 3 here. I love Photoshop. I've been in Photoshop for over 2 decades now. But honestly, the user interface in Photoshop has not changed much in that time. And so when we started to explore touch, we knew that we would have to radically shift the way that we design the interface. In order to do that, we've had to make some serious changes to our software. We've had to separate out the UI layer from the underlying application code so that we could make those radical changes to the user interface.
But what you're showing still is the original user experience of Photoshop.
This is Photoshop. Photoshop you know and love and use every day, running on the Surface Pro 3. I've got a PSD loaded up here. Now this PSD, like most of our Photoshop files, has lots and lots of layers. If I open up my layers panel, you can see there's some 60+ layers inside this space. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to a completely different workspace. The workspace I'm in now I call Playground, and Playground is one of our areas in which we can do those experiments in the UI. You've never seen Photoshop look like this before. And one of the things you're seeing now is a new feature that we're playing with called the Layer Inspector. The Layer Inspector is this tool that I have up over here on the left, and I'm going to go using touch now, grab my inspector, and start to drag that across my PSD. And as I do, you'll see it starts to highlight all the different layers that I roll over.
So Satya, that's really all of the layers in Photoshop that you can actually inspect with your hand, which is
I mean, that is just the most magical thing, which is we always, when we dreamed of building this, was how could you naturally use touch along with all the other things that you've traditionally used to really enhance the productivity of the creative process, and that's a great example of it.
Yeah, I mean, we've always wanted to just reach in and touch Photoshop, and I can do that now. So I can reach in and I can actually just go and select these layers, and by doing that, I've just created a layer comp. I can go and grab the selection now and move it out of the way. I'll grab my layer inspector again, select a couple more layers, create a layer comp, move that one over there. I've got a layer comp picker. I can go grab that last layer comp I had, move that into place, just using touch, interacting directly with the Photoshop file. It's never been expressive like this before inside this application.
That's pretty awesome.
It's rad, right?
We really want to hear from you, so take part in our Twitter competition by sending in a creative tweet to tell us about your top Creative Cloud features. Our Adobe panel of judges will select their favourite tweet from each Northern European country, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland and the UK. The winners will receive a 12-month membership to the Creative Cloud. But not only that, the overall tweet from all the regions will win a Microsoft Surface Pro 3. So get posting your tweets using the hashtag #CreateNow. The competition is open from midday on the 10th of November till midnight on the 13th of November. And you can see full details, terms and conditions at this URL. Good luck.